Good evening, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Sass for Tuesday. Sorry I missed out on doing the Sass with you on Sunday, but today we're going to be talking about color. That seems to be the biggest struggle that anybody who starts their sublimation journey is color. And even us seasoned pros, if you will, can sometimes have a problem with what we can press on color-wise, what we can't press on, so on and so forth. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a really easy kind of quick way. We're going to talk about color, about how you can press on different colors, the same color wheel, so that you can make it for your clients to be able to show them swatches, if you will. Because let's just start out with the basics. Sublimation ink is translucent. Okay, so basically I want you to think of it as like stained glass type of stuff. So you're going to be able to see through the ink. Now, I know that's kind of hard for some people to wrap their brain around, but sublimation doesn't have a white base. So it has nothing to block the color from whatever's coming underneath it. Let's say pink, red, green, orange, you get the point. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the same color wheel and I'm going to show you what happens when you press it on a multitude of different colors. And the best way to do that is with craft felt. You don't have to go and get all these different types of polyester colored fabric. You really just have to go to your local store, whether it be Walmart, it could be Michael's, Joann's, any of the craft stores, any place that sells craft felt, because you can sublimate on craft felt. And I'm going to show you everything from cream. We already know what it looks like on white, but I'm going to show you everything from cream all the way down to red. Now, please note, you cannot sublimate on black, so I didn't even entertain the thought, but I did get a dark gray for you to see what happens to that color wheel. This is something everyone should do. Grab a color wheel, press on it, and then you can show your clients. Take pictures for your clients. And then this way you have these swatches so that they can understand and maybe wrap their brain around what is going on. Because color and sublimation go hand in hand. So I'm going to move over to the other side of the room and we'll get started. All righty. So as I head over to the other side of the room, in the comment section, you will see Miss Cheyenne. She is going to be doing all the things, if you will. I'm still working on lighting in my shop. My shop is very hard with the whole lighting thing, but we're just going to play along with the bouncing ball today. Let me just get to where I need to be because I need to be able to see the comments because the comments are important around here. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the same color wheel. I'm going to press it on the heat press, but let's talk about colors. So we have your atypical color, which is white. We all know what, the ink does to white. It has the most vibrant, rich colors that we can use. Now, this is if you were going to do 100% polyester fabric, so you're going to get the most bang for your buck in the color. If you were to do a 50-50 blend, well, then you're going to get a vintage vibe after you wash it, right? So we have your white. We have red, orange. Might be hard to see. That is a light blue. We also have purple, lime green, pink, dark green. It's more like a aqua tilly blue. We got your yellow. We got two different types of yellow because, believe it or not, even though these are two different types of yellow, they're going to play differently off the colors. The colors are going to play totally differently off these because this is a deeper, more like marigold color. This is more like your traditional yellow color, right? So then you've got cream. Cream will definitely play different than the white does. Again, we have your different shades of pink. And so this is more of a mint. This is a mint. This is like a tealy mint. This is a baby blue. Okay. So we're going to press all of these and we're going to talk about them. But first, let's start with, show this all aside. We're going to start with the color wheel. So a color wheel that you want to do is something like this. So I made this color wheel. I deliberately put a black edge around it and a center. And what's going to happen is with this color wheel, you're going to be able to see the dark, rich, deeper, darker tones all the way to the light tones. We're going to do it on white first. And the reason we're doing it on the white first is because that is our neutral, right? That is our not test. There's another word for it. I'll come up with it in 2 seconds. But there we go. So I'm going to put that on the heat press. While that, I'm going to do some others. We're going to do all of our light ones first. We're going to get all the light ones out of the way, just because I feel like this is definitely, and felt is cheap. It's 49 cents. Okay, so I'm going to go lay a couple of these on my press. We're going to do this all at one time. And let me just grab all these really pretty squares. And I did a 4-inch circle on these. And the reason for I'm not going to fit those. The reason for the 4-inch is because then you could see the colors a little bit easier. They're a little bit more vibrant. You can definitely, especially for those clients who just aren't understanding why we can't do full color. Well, we technically can. It's just pink is going to look different on purple. Pink is going to look different on green. Pink is going to look different on yellow. Okay. So let me just lay these all down. All right. Grab my butcher paper. So I don't need to be making a mess here. And then I'm going to press it for $3.95 for 65. What we're going to do, and what you can do, I'm not going to do it tonight, is make these really pretty, put a hole in there, put a grommet, put it on a key ring, and now you have your swatches, right? So I'll do these after. Now, these are the darker tones, the darker, richer tones. I'm going to tell you, when you go to look at what a light color is going to look like on these, you're going to go, Nikki, we can't do that. I know. This is why I say to you, we always do black or really dark navy or the really dark reds, the dark, dark tones on these colors if you want to be able to really see them. Anything other than a very rich, rich color, it's not going to matter. You're really not going to see the tones and the variations of the colors and gradients, especially on dark colors. All right. You're going to see them on the light colors, but it's still going to be kind of tricky. Let me pull these off. All right. Let's pull the first one off, and that would be our white, right? Look at that. She be gorgeous, right? So this is our test. There is a word for it, and I will come up with it as soon as I can come up with it. So this is the neutral. This is our normal. This is the standard, whatever you want to call it. So that is what that looks like. Now, if you look at it, you can see the different colors. You can see it all the way down to the very pale, pale color, right? So you could see all of those. Now, this is what happens when you press it on green. Okay, we're going to put them so they're all facing the same direction. Look at that. Look what happens to that yellow. That yellow now has that green undertone, right? Because it's playing off the color underneath it because, again, our ink is translucent. This is what happens with the green. There's the purple. Now, the purple did play a lot better than this neon green. You can at least see that this is yellow, where on this one, it's kind of tricky. So, but you could still see the colors. So lavender plays well with our colors. You could still see the yellow, but it would probably have to be a very deep, rich yellow for you really to tell with the eye that it's yellow. Okay. Then we're going to go on to the other colors. I will show you now. If I couldn't get a baby pink when I was looking for it, baby pink would have played well too. But dark pink, it doesn't play well. Again, you could see how it's changing the colors. Our blues have purple undertones because pink does have red in it. So it does have, your purples and your blues are starting to have that pink undertone. Where yellow, now remember, our 4 colors that we use in printing are cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, right? So this is your yellow. While yes, yellow is our standard colors for RGB, right? It's still causing these to turn a different color other than what they're meant to be. Baby blue, well, this is actually a tealy blue, right? Plays differently. So as you guys are sitting here, I'm going to press these last 2 of the light colors so you can see them, which is baby blue and cream. And cream is like the next best for the neutrals, if you will. for you to be able to press on. And then we're going to get into these deeper dark tones. Now, as you can tell, we're already having issues with this color pink. Wait until you see what happens when you push it on green or orange and all of that. So you guys get some color wheel eye candy while this works. I'm going to get them all in the same direction. Perfect. There we go. We have that, and then we're going to get the other ones off the press. But do you see what happens here? This is something great. This is knowledge is power for our clients. They don't want white, and you can say, you're great. You don't have to have white, but if we put it on a lime green, or if we put it on a light lemon yellow, or if we put it on a beautiful violet or baby pink or baby blue, this is what's going to happen to your image. You can even collect a bunch of them and pre-press the design for your client in a smaller form, pro tip, if you will. So take the design that they want, go get some craft felt that kind of matches the color of the shirt that they are looking to put it on, and see how it looks. The only way this is going to look is if it has a white spot in the center. Then you're going to get the white, like we do in our neutral panel, right? So that one, here's your blue, and here's the cream. So there's the white, there's the cream. I will say, because this does have yellow in it, that yellow pops more than it does on the white. Okay, but again, you still have some cream tones, but you could get away with a cream colored, that kind of light sand color, even a very light tan color too would play nice. You're still going to get, you're not going to be able to do the lighter yellow colors, but again, you're going to want to do rich and vibrant. So there's those. Then you have your baby blue. Again, your baby blue. See what's happening to that green right here? It's causing it to go more green, but even so, you mixed it onto the yellow. Now I've got like a greenish yellow, because remember, blue and yellow make green. So you have that more of green here than you do actually a rich, vibrant yellow that is here. This has some now blue undertones. Okay, so now let's dive into these darker colors, because everybody is determined to put the colors on the darker colors. Well, Nikki, I don't know what they look like. You're right, but now you will. By doing these craft felt swatches, and if you match the ones for the shirts that you're going to use, so let's say you're going to use a Gildan, the 42,000 color, right? That's the, whatchamacallit. Let me think about it for 2 seconds. It's the 100% polyester. Or if you get 100% polyester shirts from anywhere, all right, doesn't matter where you get them, what brand you're using, it's still going to do the same thing. So you go and get yourself some craft felt, and then maybe have it match. So like, say if it's a red, you're going to go grab another red, and then you can test press on there before you order the fabric, before you order the shirt, before you do any of those things. You can go and show them what their image is going to look like on that felt. Okay. This way they know, they're informed. You're happy, they're happy. And here's why they're happy and you're happy. One, nobody spent a ton of money for you to do that shirt, to have them come back and go, I hate that. I have had that happen numerous times where somebody has come back and said, you know, Nikki, that did not turn out the way I thought it should. I thought the colors would be ... whatever the case may be. Well, they would have, but the problem is, and then you start getting into the whole explanation about your inks, and you've bored them to death, or it's way over their head because they don't care. Instead, go to the table with some, give them an informed decision on what they're doing and how they're making their things. Okay, so that is definitely one thing you can do, is the craft felt. Now, I use craft felt a lot just for testing out designs, especially the white. I don't want to be blowing through a ton of shirts, and felt is very inexpensive when you think about it. I just shrank down my design and I'll press on that. And then I could say, you know what? I don't like how this color came out. Or if I'm testing my printer inks, sometimes my printer goes wonky. Recently, my printer just went wonky. And so I had to run a bunch of prints. Well, my pinks don't look right, or my oranges aren't looking right. So you can test it on craft felt, smaller sections, and then you could see, are your colors true? Another good tip too is to run colors. Run the entire color wheel. Now, I do believe that Marvin has a color block that has all the varying shades and their RGB colors on these blocks. Now, why is that important for us? Well, then we can see what that ink color is going to do when we plug in that RGB code. Because guess what? What I see on my computer screen as pink, I bring it over into my Wacom and it's a totally different color. So I have to play around with my color. I have to make it, sometimes I have to make it brighter. Sometimes I have to make it darker. See, it's not truly an exact science. It depends on, that's why we always put that as a disclaimer, depends on the device that you are viewing it on, right? So go ahead and print a full color wheel with RGB color codes on it so that you can have it hanging in your shop. That is a great way for people to go, I want that color on that design. And then you just already know what the code is and you go ahead and change it. Or if you're talking to a designer and you're like, hey, could you possibly get me this, that, or the third, but I need it in this RGB code? Absolutely. It beats us poking around trying to find the correct yellow that you need. If you come to us with the hex code or the RGB code, it makes it so much easier. Why is that important too? I mean, having those thread colors, I said thread colors. I'll tell you why it's thread colors. I was doing last night, I was loading my thread colors into a thread app. And in that thread app, it knows all my RGB colors, which is perfect for when you're doing a logo, which also is perfect for when you are doing sublimation. So you have the same colors. Hope that made more sense on how I got to there. All right, let's pull these all off. Now, these are dark. You're not going to be happy. You're going to be like, oh, it's fine, Nikki. No, it's not fine. All right, let me just pull these papers all off. Let's show you them. All right, so here's your blue. Okay, that's your turquoisey blue. And you can tell black is the standout, right? Yes, you can see some of the colors. You see none of the light colors. You just see some of the darker tones that are in this edge, but really it just kind of all melts together and looks like the ocean. While yellowy orange, this marigold or athletic yellow color, yes, you can see all the colors. You start losing the different shades as it goes down and they kind of just blend together. Orange, you actually lose a lot of the darker colors in the orange and these lighter colors. While I can see some of the lighter colors in here, right? You can't tell which is which. All of these colors, with the exception of gray, and we'll get to that in a second, start to blend in together. And I know y'all can see this on your screen. See why we don't use dark colors? Right there. Now, this is probably the darkest gray. This would be this is an athletic gray or sports gray. This is more of a graphite gray. Charcoal gray is too dark to be doing sublimation on unless it's black. But again, because the black will play nice. This is that in between. It's in between a sports gray and a charcoal gray. I think it's called graphite. This color would work for you. Yes, you could see all your colors, but you're not going to see light colors. The lighter colors are going to definitely be harder to see in this part of your color wheel. All right, so this is what you can do in order to help your clients. Take all of these beautiful little pieces of artwork, stack them all together, put them with a grommet, and now you have what people need to know when it comes to sublimation. Now, again, when you're talking to your clients, white is king when it comes to the colors of what we should sublimate on. That's why all of our sublimation stuff is a white base, because you get the more natural, more pure colors on a white base. That's why our tumblers are white, our slates, our neoprene, our towels are all white. If we start getting into this color issue right here, well, then it starts playing with our designs and they're not the way we've seen them on the screen. And we end up with this beautiful array of loveliness. Let me just see if there's any questions going on. Nope. So there you go. That's what it looks like when you sublimate on different colors. Head to any craft store and Walmart, find craft felt. Does it have to be by the yard? Nope, just the little square ones. Perfect. You want the flimsy craft felt. You don't want the thicker one. Although you can use it, it's just thicker. It's not really good for sublimation. I mean, I sublimate on it. It's just get the thinner stuff. So this is what I would sublimate on. do all of your tests. Great for test designs. I would encourage you to get a couple yards of the white. This way, when you are testing out designs and you want to see, or you're testing out colors from your computer, or you want to do your color wheel, whatever it may be, when you're doing your color wheel, though, to have people pick the color that they like and that RGB code wonderfulness, then yes, you want to go in and do it on white. Now, you're saying, Nikki, I can go buy this. I could just print it off with Sublimation. You're right. But believe it or not, your color of maroon is going to look differently than my color maroon. And the reason is ink and paper. And it has nothing really to do necessarily with the printer you're using. It's just the ink and the paper you're using. And it's how my little Epson is reading compared to like an F5, was it F570? So Beverly printed off some designs for me and they're maroon. Her maroon looked more pink. My maroon looked more brown. And it was the same design. Like it was absolutely the same design. She had the same color codes, but because we used two different types of ink, it definitely showed up differently. So do your own test prints in-house of your colors based on the inks that you use, based on the paper that you use. And in this way, it's kind of fail-safe and you're not going to be worrying about what it looks like. And everybody should have these in their wheelhouse. So now there is your lesson on color. Remember, sublimation is translucent. It is something that you see through, so it's going to pick up whatever the color is that is hiding behind it. And even though it's gorgeous, it can really do some disasters with our design. That's it for today. Nothing crazy. A short, happy live just on color. And until next time, I'll see you guys all real soon on the flip side.